So we've looked at a whole bunch of different kinds of things so far. We've talked about input, we've talked about output, we've used light, we've used pressure with like presence with our fingers for buttons, and rotation with knobs, and we've had light as both an input and an output. But now I want to talk a little bit about motion. And this is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about this thing called a servo motor. And in the video following, I'll talk to you about how to program it and how to use it. So a servo motor is essentially, you can see in this image, and you've got one inside of your kit. It came in a bag with a whole bunch of stuff. All right, and so just take a look at the stuff in the motor itself, right? So this is like a hobby servo motor. It'll run off of really anywhere from like 2.5 to 6 volts. So the 3.5 volts that we use are fine. We could even power it off of the 5 volts if we wanted to. The way that these things work is they've got 3 pins, one for power, one for ground, and then one for data, right, or signal. So it's got these headers on here, and what you can do is you can just take some of your, some of your other wires and just jam them in there, like so, and then you'll be able to essentially build up your own little interface for plugging this into your breadboard, right? Again, you just want to be clear about like the wire colors that you're using, because they're a little bit different on the servo motor, right? So make sure that you're using things that you understand and know what they are. Typically that's brown or black or blue for ground, red for power, and then something unique for signal or data, right? So here I'm using red, black, and white. Use whatever you want. So the inside of the servo, there's a little bit of there's a little circuit, there's a motor, and then there's a potentiometer as well as some gears. So the way that this all works is we send a series of pulses to this control circuit over the data pin. That control circuit then turns the motor, and then the control circuit also reads the value off of this potentiometer so it knows where to position itself. So a servo motor isn't like a usual motor in the sense that it just spins around forever. Instead, what you do with the servo motor is you give it a position somewhere between typically 0 and 180 degrees, and then the motor will move that way. So inside of your bag, and I'll use this by way of demonstrating, there's a whole bunch of little like widgets here for connecting and articulating to different components. I'm just grabbing this one. It's just really for show. You can use any one of these that you want. There's screws in there so you can tighten it up. You're trying to move a lot of torque. But you can see there's little ridges on here, and they match this, so it just pops right in. And then you'll see that I can turn this. It makes a great little whiny noise when I do it. But you'll also notice that it only moves about 180 degrees. This one seems to move just a little bit more. And so what we want to do is we're going to use this, and we're going to use the microcontroller to tell it a position to move to. Now, we do that with an external library. And so the next video will show you not only how to install that library, but then also how to use it. But that's what a servo motor is. It's a regular motor that spins around, then it's got some circuitry inside of there that allows us to position it in a specific angle. And so that's what we'll do in the next video. It's going to be totally awesome.